Hello, Internet! Welcome back to Cinema Brawls, where we come at you peppier than a Mento out of a Coca-Cola bottle on the 4th of July. My name is Matt, this is Daniel, and that is Jake. And today we're going to be pulling out of the Losers Bowl to decide who will redeem themselves and who will be a stupid, dumb, ugly double loser.
Alright, so we got Mission Impossible 4, The Ghost Protocol.
Super 8.
Give us a moment to gather our thoughts on this matchup. And we're back.
Thoughts have been gathered.
Ghost Protocol lost, huh?
Yeah, who did Ghost Protocol lose against?
Crazy Stupid Love.
Okay,
I mean,
fine.
I don't have everything memorized.
Alright.
On your mark, get set, brawl!
Bro.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. You guys know how this works. You've been watching for a while now. There's a method, there's a process, and we're gonna perform it.
My first impression is, well, Ghost Protocol is probably one of the best of the Mission Impossibles.
For
and
sure.
it's a shame it had to lose, but I feel like this is a good chance for it to redeem itself.
Ghost Protocol, coincidentally, is actually the only Mission Impossible I've seen, but I loved it.
Ghost Protocol is actually pretty dope.
Can I just say
like
Mission
it.
Impossible is ridiculous?
It really is. Like,
And
I
it
think
just keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Any movie where somebody's wearing a realistic-looking mask that they can wear and then pull off is ridiculous.
And it's the best.
and it's comedic, but it's also intense and action-packed, and
Right.
then there's the Tom Cruise of it all.
That being
Tom Cruise of it all.
That being said, I think it'll be close, but I think I will be voting for Super 8 because...
For the sake of conversation.
For the sake of conversation, but also because I truly believe it's more of an original movie.
I do feel like Super 8 really tried. It tried to do something unique. It tried to be something more than it turned out to be.
And I think if it was a bad movie, then it would have fallen off the radar a long time ago. We wouldn't be discussing it.
It has fallen off the radar. The
It-
only reason
it
we're
hasn't,
discussing
though.
it is
People
because
still
you
talk
guys
about it.
like it.
No, it's because plenty of people like it.
See, the thing
Because
is
it was
that
a
was
good
JJ
movie.
Abrams trying to do a personal story, something that meant something to him, and all he could think of was a tribute to Steven Spielberg movies.
Which isn't a bad idea.
It's not a
However,
bad
it just
idea.
didn't turn out as great.
Yeah, no, it's
But it
just
didn't
that
turn out
JJ
bad.
Abrams is bad, and he should feel bad and stop ruining Star Wars.
Start with the story.
Start with the story.
I think that the story of Mission Impossible is just a lot more intricate. Like, the mission they're trying to do is a lot more, wide scale. And, there's a lot of moving parts, and they have to accomplish a lot of tasks, and I think it's great. Even though it's the fourth one, it was like a refresh on what has already been established.
For sure. It
All
was-
you really need to know is that Tom Cruise plays a guy called Ethan Hunt, and he is a spy. That's all you need.
Let's
That's all you
face it,
need.
you don't even need to know his name. His name is Tom Cruise.
Well, okay. I would completely disagree with you there. I think that as great of a movie as Mission Impossible was, that the story itself is basic, formulaic. Again, not necessarily bad things, but unoriginal. It's the fourth one in the franchise, and the fourth one is very similar to the first three. It's very similar to a lot of action movies that come out. Again, it's not a bad story, but compared to Super 8, at least Super 8 has originality, it has feeling and depth, and the story was... I feel like it had more thought put into it. JJ Abrams...
The concept is a little bit more unique, I'll give you
Right.
that.
JJ Abrams put thought into this movie, whereas Mission Impossible was probably more like, alright, let's fill in this action movie script Mad Libs.
Fair enough.
Alright. I think that you are backwards. I think that one of the things that makes Mission Impossible 4 so good is that it takes a, yes, somewhat formulaic action movie premise, as in guy stops bomb plot, but turns it into something more, something interesting and fun and exciting, and a movie franchise that really kind of needed it. See, the thing is that the only thing that the fourth Mission Impossible has in conjunction to the other three is that it's somewhat similar to one in that it's good. The other two are bad and should feel bad.
Real quick,
Yeah.
you have to
He's
let
got
go.
a bias.
You have to let go of JJ
I have a
Abrams.
bias. See, the thing is that
I really
film is
don't
a-
feel like the director comes through as
Think of
much.
it in terms of the story, not the director.
does.
I get that JJ Abrams is not the best director,
That's
but
the thing, is that JJ Abrams also wrote both movies. He wrote the third Mission Impossible and Super 8. And so, yes, he comes through. And that's the thing that, one of the reasons why I love the fourth one is because you have the voice of Brad Bird. Yes, he is weird, he is awkward, he's uncomfortable with his own genius, but he at least has a good eye for action. There's not as much shaky cam, there's clearer stakes. It's got one of the best action sequences in cinema, and that's just Tom Cruise hanging out the side of a building. But that's a pretty...
One of the best action sequences in cinema.
Oh, it's awesome. Have you watched that
Of
first
course.
Leaf scene recently?
Of course I
It's
have.
dope.
It is great, granted, but one of the best. I can name 5 better ones off the top of my head.
This is the... Mission Impossible 4 is the kind of movie where Tom Cruise runs so fast he outruns a sandstorm for a little bit.
Right.
It does catch up to him eventually.
That's what I love about the Mission Impossible movie was it was an action movie, but it bordered on the line of almost unbelievable.
It was
in such a
almost an
ridiculous
action
way
comedy.
that it was almost a comedy. Yes. That's its charm right there.
So
and that is
good.
absolutely about the storytelling. My point is it's a fun story but it's not nearly worth as much credit as Super 8 was. Super 8 was not a bad story. It was a good story, and I don't care what you say.
if I could play advocate for both of you now, I agree Super 8 has the potential. The concept is unique, you know. Yes, it's an alien movie, but it's like it's discovered by kids with a horrific train accident, you know? And what they do to remedy that or try to cope with that, I think is a good story. To Daniel's credit, was it executed as well as it could have? No, it wasn't. But the idea was there. I think that's a good start. It had a good start. Mission Impossible had a good restart.
I think Mission Impossible has a better story. And I do want to come out. I don't think that JJ Abrams is bad. He's competent. He knows how to direct. He just doesn't have a style or substance behind his
How dare you,
direction.
sir? Avatar was the highest grossing movie of all time for over 10 years.
That's
That was-
James Cameron.
JJ Abrams did the new Star Trek movies, Lost,
Which were also bad, by
the
the way.
new Star
J.J.
Wars
Abrams
movies.
did Lost?
Yeah,
Yes.
most of it.
Oh, well, screw you. J.J. Abrams is the bomb.
Only in Lost, though. So Mission Impossible?
No, I didn't say that. Super 8. I'm obviously voting for Super 8.
I'm voting for Mission Impossible.
I'll vote for Mission Impossible.
Alright, now for characters. One of the things that I love about Mission Impossible is that it has likable characters, unlike Super 8.
Super 8 was fine. I mean, none of them were totally super compelling. I did think it was kind of weird that that kid specifically was the one to calm down the alien and send it home. I thought that was kind of weird, but
The character, I don't want to say development, but the character, they delve more into the characters.
it's more focused on how they handled the train
Yes.
crash alien
Thank you.
thing.
The characters are more of a central focus. You get more of them from Super 8 than you do from Mission Impossible. For Mission Impossible, we get light character development, light arcs, but we never really get into them as much as we want to.
Yeah,
It's mostly the
It's
world
not a
ending
character
plot.
it's not a character study, it's an action movie that just so happens to have Tom Cruise in it.
Right. So it doesn't merit any genre in this category.
But it's got Tom Cruise at his, I would argue, most self-aware for his movies. Like, this is the kind of movie where Tom Cruise just, like, gets the crap beat out of him.
It's like we know that we don't like Tom Cruise anymore. This is Tom Cruise saying, "Look, guys, it's fine. We can laugh at me."
I get it. Yeah, no, it's okay. We're gonna have this super cool movie. I'm gonna save the world, and it's gonna be great. And you guys know the premise, but come on, you still want to see me run outside a building? Like, who else does that? Who else does that?
Well, that's all great, for the actors and the directors, which for some reason we keep circling back to.
Actors and directors are part of the movie.
I agree, but we're not talking about that part right now. We're talking about the characters that were written and Tom
the
Cruise.
Characters that are written by somebody, portrayed by the actors, as directed by the director.
Yes,
you're saying,
but Tom Cruise's Scientology has nothing to do with
but
Ethan Hawke.
You're right, but like in the third Mission Impossible, super serious, like deadpan serious, and then this one, he's fun and lighthearted, and everyone's just having a good time. Yeah, the world could explode, but like,
Yeah,
run a
I
sandstorm.
agree. That makes the characters more relatable and more
See, no story
likable, but
exists in a bubble. There is context that those stories have to be put into, and those characters are put into, and I feel like that context is important to at least touch on.
and I get that. But my point is that stuff isn't as important right now because you're just comparing it to other Mission Impossible movies.
You're right, because it is the fourth movie in a series of currently 6 movies, possibly a 7th.
Right. But how does it compare to the Super 8 characters?
I mean,
Again, I think Super 8 was really trying to go for something. The concept is unique, but also maybe a little basic. But it's because it's trying to focus on what these kids do to cope with what they've seen. And, it's a very personal movie for them, and it's not a world-ending thing. It's just them, their small town, what are they doing? It was their science teacher that died. This kid's dad that's taking the brunt of it, it's how they cope, and I think that's great. Again, was it executed as well? Mission Impossible is a lot more plot heavy. We have characters, they're fun, they do the things, but it's really more important that they make it through the story along with us.
I'm voting for Mission Impossible.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I'm voting for Super 8.
I think I'll vote for Super 8 because I kind of touched on a theory last time we talked about Super 8 about how it's more maybe not actually happening. It's more specifically in this kid's head, and that makes it become more of a intense character study on this kid's psyche.
See,
And I know it's a theory, but I kind of like looking for that kind of stuff, and I think Super 8 has that potential.
One of the reasons why I don't like the characters of Super 8, just last thing, sorry,
Go
is
for
I
it.
know specifically that movie was made for me. That movie was made for us, the people who love to make movies, who want to try to make movies, who spent their childhood just trying to get everything together to make something somewhat resembling a movie and pouring their heart and soul into it, and I know that I was that annoying as a kid and I hate it.
So you don't like the movie because it points out your character flaws?
Yes!
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That means it did a good
Humble
job.
yourself, boy, and give the movie the respect it deserves.
It doesn't deserve my respect.
It does because
I
you're
don't deserve
prideful.
my respect. It doesn't deserve it. My respect.
This got real. Let's move on to rewatchability.
Rewatchability.
Mission
Mission Impossible.
Great.
Super 8, as much as I like it, is not super rewatchable. Because honestly, it's not that good of a movie. But it's not bad. That's been my point the whole time. As much as I like Mission Impossible, though, it lacks substance as compared to Super 8, and that's kind of my point. Obviously, Mission Impossible is more rewatchable.
Even though it's the fourth in the series, like we said, all you need to know
is the best in the series.
all you need to know is the dude's a spy.
Yeah.
Let's go. We don't
Yeah.
need to watch the other 3.
That's kind of my argument for this whole thing is substance is greater with Super 8 than it is with Mission Impossible.
Merits and genre. This one's unfortunate because Ghost Protocol totally blew the series out of the water. Gave it 2 more, possibly 3 more sequels, and Super 8 just was it tapped on the shoulder of the sci-fi genre and that was it.
That's true. There's not much you can be said for Super 8 in this genre. Like I said earlier, we're still talking about it, sure, but Daniel was kind of right when he said barely.
I know. It's just because we put it in the bowl, because we saw it once, and it spoke to us as filmmakers. I mean, even if we talk about the other JJ Abrams sci-fi works, whether they were bad or good, they're talked about a lot more, probably because they're controversial, like Star Trek and Star Wars. Super 8 just gets left behind, unfortunately.
Anyway, yeah.
JJ Abrams
Mission
himself is a
Impossible is
mystery
my
box.
vote for this.
Yeah, I know. Mission Impossible. For merits.
Yeah, for sure. And that gives it 3, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Technically does.
Technically does. Emotional impact.
So both of these are kind of F for emotional impact.
I know,
At least
you
I
don't-
did.
there's
I did walk away with utter disgust.
You don't
That
really
Mission
leave
Impossible.
either one, like, very impacted, like, wow, I'm feeling emotions.
You're right. I think Mission Impossible had something that it was going for, and it achieved that. It did a really good job. It rebranded its franchise, and it left you with the feeling you were looking for going into a Mission Impossible action movie. The problem with Super 8 is that it tried to do something, and while it got close, it didn't. And it did kind of leave you feeling empty as a movie. It's like, I mean, I've seen Super 8, I think, twice.
I think I have to.
Yeah. And it's an old movie. It's
Took
fun.
me 3 days to get through one viewing of it.
The point is, as much as Super 8 had more to work with and more to deal with as far as emotion goes, it fell flat compared to what Mission Impossible was able to do with what it was trying to do.
I agree. And at the end of the day, Mission Impossible is just a fun action movie where we watch Tom Cruise do outrageous things to himself. And, you know, that's all you need. You can sit back, you can enjoy it, you are like, yeah, you do the things.
You outrun that sandstorm, Tom Cruise.
You punch the guys. And, you know, that's it. That's all you need. And it's great.
That's all you get.
Well, Mission Impossible wins, guys.
It does. Super 8 is unfortunately a loser of losers.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Catch us next time when we do this next time.
Yeah. And if you guys ever noticed, Daniel can be quite bitter, and that's why he sucks.
Just gotta throw that out there.
I'll take it.
Need to take a shot at his character since my movie lost. Ad
See,
hominem.
That's fine. It's okay. I totally understand.
Bye.